What's going on, everybody? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, JaMychal Green. In today's video, we're going to go over some guys that the Knicks could either trade for or sign to replace Obi Toppin. If you missed the news, if you're living under a rock, the New York Knicks have traded Obi Toppin to the Indiana Pacers. They received 2 second-round picks. So in today's show, we're going to go over some guys in NBA free agency, a couple of guys in sign and trade situations. We'll tier it as guys that I think are most likely, that I would really like to see the Knicks go after, and then maybe some cheap free agents that maybe out of their prime, maybe a familiar face, a Tom Thibodeau favorite we'll be talking about around the corner. But one last time for Obi Toppin. We love to do this on the show. I love to see you guys showing love in the comment section. Do it one more time for Obi Toppin. Type those ones in the comment section. His jersey number when he was with the Knicks. I'm wishing nothing but the best for Obi, unless he's playing the New York Knicks. Type those ones. Show Obi some love. So this is what the New York Knicks roster looks like right now. Starting lineup stays the same. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. The bench unit is a little bit different now, though. You got Emmanuel quickly as your your backup point guard. You got McBride backing him up. Dante DiVincenzo is going to play a little bit of the shooting guard position, as well as a little bit of that small forward spot. Josh Hart, he's going to play some 3. He's going to play some small ball 4. Then you got guys like Isaiah Roby who may get some minutes at that small ball 4 position. I could have included Isaiah Roby on this list. We did a video back on him a couple of months ago when he was signed by the Knicks. So if you want to learn more about Roby, you can check that out on the channel. And he's still got Isaiah Hartenstein and Jericho Sims. We saw when Toppin got hurt earlier in the regular season this past year, Tibbs ran with that Hartenstein and Jericho Sims double big man lineup at the 4 and 5. What about potentially Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein playing together a little bit this year? You're a little bit more multiple now. You can play big, you can play small. Tom Thibodeau is going to be able to figure it out. But I know everybody is worried about who is going to be the backup power forward. And if you missed my rant on the live show yesterday, I had some strong feelings about it. So let's talk about it. Backup power forward targets and Obi Toppin replacements. One of the best guys left in NBA free agency is P.J. Washington, the power forward for the Charlotte Hornets. He is 6'7", 230 pounds. He played the power forward position for Charlotte. He's a guy that averaged 15.7 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, just under a steal per night, and just over a block per night. 32 minutes last year for Charlotte. The Knicks aren't going to be able to outright sign P.J. Washington. The Knicks don't have any more salary cap space. They don't have any more available exceptions. They can only sign players to the veteran minimum. But this could be a sign-and-trade situation because the Knicks did get a trade exception from the Indiana Pacers by trading Obi Toppin. So a sign-and-trade could make some sense here for P.J. Washington. Last year, shot 34% from 3 on 5.9 attempts per night. I'd like P.J. Washington. I think it might be a little bit too expensive, though. Probably the top Obi Toppin replacement for me that we're going to talk about on today's show is Grant Williams of the Boston Celtics. I'm a fan of Williams. I just think he's a gritty guy. He plays hard. He does all the right things, and he's not afraid or scared at all to get in the face of Jimmy Butler and really rile him up a little bit, which maybe have not have been the best idea, but he ain't scared. 6'6", 240 pounds for Grant Williams. Last year played in 79 games for Boston, 25.9 minutes per night, giving you just 8 points, 4 rebounds. But he's just a great basketball player. He kind of reminds me of a guy that would have played at Villanova, which would have fit in really well with the Knicks. But he knocks down the 3 at an elite clip, 39% this year, 41% last year, and 37% the year before. And in the last 2 seasons, he's shooting over 3.5 threes per night. Grant Williams also would have to be a sign and trade. He and P.J. Washington are both restricted free agents, and I think they're going to cost more than the veteran minimum, so you could look at using that trade exception if you are making a deal for Grant Williams or P.J. Washington. A guy that you could actually flat out sign to the veteran minimum, I think JaMychal Green is someone we should keep our eyes on. 6'8", 227 pounds. He's been in the NBA for 9 years, 33 years old at this point. Played in 57 games last year for the Golden State Warriors, 14 minutes per night, and he gave you 6.4 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, 54% from the deck, and he can knock down the three as well, 37.8% from downtown on just under 2 attempts. If you're looking for a veteran that's probably not going to play all the time but can step in and give you some minutes, maybe against a bigger front court team, JaMychal Green can score on the inside. Decent defender as well, and he can knock down that outside shot. I would not be mad if the Knicks brought in JaMychal Green. We have more players to get to, probably about 15 more players we're going to talk on today's show. But first, make sure you guys are subscribed to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports, because if the Knicks make a move, we are making a video on this channel. Since free agency started, since 2 days before free agency started, I think we've done 12 or 13 videos on the channel. We've gone live 4 different times. We are your one-stop shop for all things New York Knicks. So go down right now and hit that big red sub button. What about bringing a familiar face back to the New York Knicks, a Tom Thibodeau favorite? What about good old Taj Gibson? I mean, I'm almost going to predict it at this point that Taj Gibson is going to sign with the New York Knicks if he does not retire. A veteran, a good teammate, a leader, another coach on the floor, an extension of the coaching staff. Could Taj Gibson turn into the Udonis Haslem for the New York Knicks? Ideally, you'd want someone better than Taj Gibson at that spot, but I can rock with Taj Gibson. I respect his grind. I respect the Grizzy. I would not be upset at all if the Knicks brought back Taj Gibson. The last player we're going to talk about, top Obi Toppin replacements, is Dario Saric from the Oklahoma City Thunder. We've heard over the past couple of days that the Golden State Warriors are a team of interest that has interest in Saric. And I believe Saric and Taj Gibson would both be guys that would sign for the veteran minimum at this point in their careers. Dario Saric, over the season, played 37 games at the start of the year for the Suns, finished with the Oklahoma City Thunder, gives you about 6-7 points per night, and honestly a decent passer. He can move the ball a little bit, and he's someone that can knock down that outside shot. That's actually rebounds per game. That is a typo on our stat sheet. That's rebounds per game. 3.8 rebounds per game and 3.3 rebounds per game. But my favorite part of Saric is he could shoot the hell out of the ball from three. 39% from downtown over the season. He's someone that could stretch the floor and give you some spot minutes at that power forward spot. We've already talked about 5 power forwards up to this point. We got, I think, 10 more to talk about. But who do you want to be the Knicks' backup forward, power forward? Who do you want it to be? I got yelled at a lot yesterday that the Knicks need a backup power forward. Of course they need a backup power forward, but I don't think it's the most important roster move they need to make. But let me know, who do you want the Knicks to be the backup power forward? Alrighty, let's go through some other guys. Really, these are just the best free agents left at the power forward position. Christian Wood. I don't think the Knicks can afford him, but he is the best power forward late. Our Dallas Mavericks insiders here at Chat Sports believe that a veteran minimum could be on the table for Christian Wood. He's an excellent scorer. The stats show that. 16.6 points per game, 51% from the field, shot north of 35% from three. You can get it for the vet minimum, sure. I don't believe it, despite the Mavericks fans and insiders here in the office thinking it can happen. I don't think it's all that likely. What about Paul Reed, 6'9" power forward from the Philadelphia 76ers this past year? More of an inside game than an outside game. He can hit the glass. He's athletic around the rim. I thought he had some good minutes for the Sixers, especially when he had to take minutes from Joel Embiid when he was dealing with some injuries. The Knicks want a rough and rugged power forward. Paul Reed could be that guy. Like Reed, Willians Gabriel is a power forward at 6'9", 205 that thrives more on the inside part of the offensive floor. He's a good defender as well. He could protect the rim a little bit, switch out onto guards, play some defense in that respect. Last year, 5.5 points per game, 4.2 rebounds. The Lakers tried to play him at the center spot, but he's just not a center. He's a power forward and kind of a traditional power forward. Doesn't really stretch the court, but he's a good player, and he makes a lot of winning plays. Justice Winslow, a familiar name. Man, I can't believe he has fallen this far. I really thought at Duke he was going to be a stud. But he is now a power forward in the NBA. Only 6'6", so the agenda a lot of you guys want to push is we need someone bigger than 6'6". Maybe this doesn't fit your agenda. He's struggled in the NBA, but he's a name, and he's one of the best available left in free agency. Darius Bazley, also a free agent, 6'8", 208 pounds last year for the Suns, 5 points, 3 rebounds. We're talking about veteran minimum players. There's not going to be too many things flashy about them. And when you talk about veteran minimum players, you're talking about vets, and that's what Blake Griffin is at this point. If you want a leader, a locker room guy, someone that can help the team, what about Blake Griffin as a potential Obi Toppin replacement? This one is interesting, though. Trendon Watford. A lot of people have asked me about him. He was recently released by the Portland Trail Blazers, and he has an interesting game to him. 6'8". He's a young kid, got some size, 237 pounds, and he had good stats, actually, for the Portland Trail Blazers. He could do a little bit of everything. 7.5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He started some games for them. We saw him shoot just under 40% from downtown, but it was on minimum usage, about 1 3 per night. I would like to see what that percentage would be if you kind of ballooned that usage up to 2 3 threes per night. But Watford is the guy I'm keeping my eyes on as the cheap Obi Toppin replacement. What about bringing the Morris brother? Well, the other Morris brother, Markieff Morris, not Marcus Morris, to New York City. Bring him back up to the Northeast, the Philly guy. Ended up with the Dallas Mavericks this year as a part of that Kyrie Irving deal. I'm good on Markieff Morris. I'm honestly good on almost everybody we talked about in the second half of this video. If I had to choose one of those later guys, it would be Watford or Christian Wood, but Christian Wood is going to be way too expensive. I'm keeping my eyes on Grant Williams. He is someone that I think, and Taj Gibson. I think Taj Gibson might have already signed a deal by the time we're recording this video. I know this, though. If Taj or anybody else signs with the New York Knicks, we're going to get you guys a video as soon as possible. I know nobody's really happy about the OB trade. I'm not either, and I'm not here to tell you how to feel. You're allowed to feel however you want. But remember, Obi is 25. He's not going to be a starter here. He didn't want to be here. He wanted a bigger role elsewhere, and he was going to be a free agent in 12 months, and the Knicks ran the risk of losing him for nothing. He got 2 second-round picks. Is it ideal? No. But, as my mother once said, you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. I don't know if that actually applies in this situation, but I'm sad Obi's gone. I am. But I think it was a move the Knicks had to make. As always, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you later.